From the moment he stepped into the luxurious hotel lobby, drenched from the unexpected rain and clutching an old leather bag that had begun to peel at the edges, every eye turned toward him. Some stared with discomfort, some with silent judgment, and some with outright disdain. The chandelier's golden light reflected off the marble floors, but it did nothing to soften the harsh glances thrown at the frail old man, whose clothes were worn and whose shoes had clearly seen better days. The man took slow, careful steps toward the reception desk, unaware that he was already being seen as someone who did not belong. Within moments, a guard approached him, suspicion tightening his expression, and the humiliation that followed would remain etched in the memories of everyone present, because none of them had any idea who he really was. Call to action 1. If you believe in kindness, humanity, and giving people second chances, make sure to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts below. The elderly man's name was Arif Khan, a retired schoolteacher who had spent his life educating children in a small town miles away. After losing his wife 2 years earlier, and with his only son working abroad, Arif lived a quiet life teaching neighborhood kids for free, finding solace in shaping young minds. He was gentle, soft-spoken, and had never raised his voice at anyone. The journey that brought him to this grand hotel was not one he had planned for pleasure. He had come to the city to meet someone important, a former student who had invited him with great insistence, saying it was a matter of deep gratitude, something he had waited years to express. Arif had hesitated, but eventually agreed, packing the few decent clothes he had and taking a long bus ride to the city. But the rain had ruined everything. His clothes were soaked, his simple kurta clung to his frail frame, and his hair, usually neatly combed, was messy and dripping. When he entered the hotel with hesitant steps, hoping to find a place to dry himself before calling his student, the staff immediately saw him as nothing more than a beggar trying to take shelter. The guard blocked his way, scolding him for entering such a place and accusing him of seeking charity. The receptionist spoke to him with thinly veiled irritation, telling him he was disturbing the guests, and several people in the lobby chuckled under their breath, whispering that he must have wandered in from the street. Arif tried to explain, but the more he spoke, the more they mocked him. His voice trembled, his hands shook, and for the first time in decades, he felt genuinely small, unprotected, and alone. The humiliation cut deep, not because of the insults, but because he realized that no one even gave him a chance to speak. No one bothered to look past his wet clothes and tired eyes. No one thought he could be anything more than a beggar. His heart ached not for himself, but for what humanity had become, a place where appearances mattered more than truth, and where compassion was a luxury few cared to offer. Just when the security guard grabbed his arm and tried to force him out, the main door of the hotel opened again, and a young man in an expensive suit walked in with hurried steps. His eyes scanned the lobby anxiously until he saw the old man. In an instant, everything changed. The young man rushed forward, pushing past guests and staff, and without a second thought, he wrapped Arif in a tight, emotional embrace. The staff watched in stunned silence as the young man, clearly a person of importance, held the old man with such respect and affection that the entire atmosphere shifted. This young man was none other than Saad Malik, the hotel owner's son, and one of Arif's brightest former students. To everyone's shock, Saad dropped to his knees in front of the old teacher, apologizing profusely, his voice breaking with emotion. He called Arif his greatest mentor, the man who had shaped his mind, encouraged his dreams, and taught him discipline, integrity, and kindness. Saad revealed that his success, every achievement, every milestone, was rooted in the lessons he received from his humble schoolteacher, and today he had invited Arif to honor him publicly at a charity event the hotel was hosting, dedicating a classroom wing in Arif's name. The entire lobby fell silent, heads bowed in shame. The same guard who had insulted Arif minutes earlier now stood frozen, guilt flooding his face. The receptionist lowered her eyes, realizing the weight of her careless words. Guests who had laughed now felt the sting of their own arrogance. Suddenly, every single person saw the truth. The man they had mocked was someone extraordinary, someone deserving of respect, someone who had touched countless lives. Saad gently escorted Arif to a private suite, insisting that the hotel staff immediately bring warm clothes, food, and medical assistance. But Arif, with the same modesty he had always carried, simply smiled and said he needed nothing more than to sit quietly and catch his breath. As he settled into a comfortable chair, Saad sat beside him, visibly emotional. He explained that he had been preparing for this day for months, wanting to give Arif the recognition he truly deserved. And yet, the world had nearly robbed him of that moment because of one simple thing: judgment based solely on appearance. Word of the incident spread throughout the hotel, and the staff made a sincere effort to apologize. But Arif, with gentle eyes and a forgiving heart, simply nodded and said that mistakes happen, and what mattered most was learning not to repeat them. His calmness, humility, and grace left everyone deeply moved. As evening approached, the charity event began, and when Arif's name was announced on stage, he received a standing ovation from hundreds of people. Many had tears in their eyes, touched by his resilience, humility, and the profound impact a simple teacher could have on so many lives. In that moment, Arif didn't think of the insults or the pain. He only thought of the children he had taught, the lives he had touched, and the fact that kindness, even when rare, still existed in the world. He looked out at the crowd, feeling a warmth he had not felt in years, knowing that despite everything, his life's work had been meaningful, powerful, and deeply valued.